And I return to Let's Play Cities Skylines. So this isn't beautiful by any means, but I've done a little bit of road work out here and connected this up. So now we should be ready to go there, but we're not going to develop this area today. Today, instead, I am going to come in here, and I guess I'm just going to pause right away again. I've changed my mind completely on how I want this to lay out. So what we're actually going to do is come in here, and I'm just going to grab this, and we're going to watch it unfold, and come in and delete all of this that took me way too long to put down. Now I hate myself. But there's not much that's developing out here, and there's a lot better way to do this. Now, I mean, I guess I don't necessarily know that it's a better way, but perhaps a more interesting way. And if nothing else, it'll cram in a lot of people. Whilst we're screwing around with that, I also want to come into Riverside. I'm going to give you the schools out policy so we can get more workers coming out of Riverside. Riverside's developing pretty nicely. I think it is actually working pretty well. I put in all these trees, as I said I was going to do, and if we need to put in other things like, for example, a museum, we can do that elsewhere. In fact, I want to do that right now whilst I'm thinking about it. Let's put in the art gallery. That's a pretty big thing, but you know what? It can go here. Should I go there, or should I go sticking out here? Maybe we should have it sticking out here. I mean, alternatively, for a neighborhood that I want to be like the working class neighborhood, this is actually becoming quite full of things. I don't know. I feel like something as big as an art something as big as an art gallery. I can't believe we can only put down one museum. I think that's really stupid. You can put down libraries, but you can't put down... No, alright. Putting down an art gallery right beside... You know what, though? Let's actually put it on this side, right across from the retirement center. And it'll work there for a little bit. Anyway, back to the constant destruction. I kind of wish that there was like one little holdout here, huh? It's the Chester residence. It's got 2 households, 1 uneducated young adult in there. It's kind of funny. It's also kind of funny that after I destroyed all this housing out here, suddenly my city's revenue jumped by a rather significant amount. Almost there. So this is something I want to do here, based very loosely on Cities Devil XL. And you know what? I can actually leave that, but we're gonna change how this comes in. And I think I'm gonna use these plain streets. You know, in the residential neighborhoods around where I live, it is very uncommon to have marked streets like this. And the ones that do tend to be, I guess, more priority traffic. Typically they are unmarked and they're like this. So what I want to do here... Now, first thing I actually want to do is I want to see... Yeah, you're giving me grief. I want to see how far we can take this. So if I go one more... Okay. Let's see. Not quite the layout that I want. So what if instead I did this, and then one of these. And we end up with this, but you know what? Excuse me. Okay. I actually kind of like this better. Because otherwise we're going to end up getting... Yeah, I mean, you know, that's okay too. But this will work better. So we'll do it this way with the single. And we're going to have to force some evictions, I'm afraid, because the rest of them just aren't getting it. Okay, and I kind of want to keep these. They should, yeah, that'll stay there. So we'll go kind of around like this. And so when I say it comes from Cities XXL or Cities XL or whatever version of the game, Cities XL has this pretty awesome feature where the street types that you can have are basically just like roads like this, or you can have blocks, or you can have sort of autofill. And the autofill is pretty cool. It makes some very nice looking neighborhoods. Awkwardly, the music very awkwardly turned off there. It's not going to do it, is it? It's not going to do it at all. I've already forgotten the layout for this. Yeah, so this is what's wrong here. Needed to go in. This needed to go in a bit more. We're going to have a few unanticipated areas like this. Let's go like that, though. And, I mean, it's not the most efficient of neighborhoods by any means. But it creates a little bit of visual interest anyhow. You know what, that'll work. And then this middle bit is actually going to probably be more like park and trees rather than actual housing. So we'll kind of let that go and see how that looks. And since that's going to be trees, you know what? I'll accept that. It'll work. So we'll see how this does for neighborhood, and we'll come over here and do the same thing. It's kind of having issues. In fact, that's too far down. And unfortunately, because this is so far apart, we're also having issues with this now. So this is also not ideal. to... Well, damn it. It doesn't actually look like it wants to... There we go. Okay. And that can go in like that, and then this one can go in like that. And just like that, we've eaten up what was very, very large demand. The only problem with doing this is that it is going to make it absolutely impossible to name these streets anything. Unless I guess I could do like that. Let's continue building the neighborhood though. So now this one comes out that, yeah. I imagine when we can green things up, it will also look a little bit nicer. Why don't we just preemptively start doing some of that, in fact. Someone woke up on the right side of the bed. And I don't think, unfortunately, there are any parks that are just a 4x4. You can always take it out. There might be a dog park or a playground. And I guess I could run like a bike lane up the middle, but you know, it's fine. Let's just see. Okay, well that would actually fit there though. That's a pretty nice fit. Yeah, this is 5x5. Like this is tiny, so I could put one in the middle of something like this. You know, just make it visually interesting. And I guess if I was going to put these trees here, I could maybe put more cherry tree looking things. It's fine though. How big is this dog park? Too big. Too big. Even the carousel is too big. What about the bouncy castle? Even that's too big. 5x5s. Why the hell would they do that? Why would they think that, you know, when your standard house is a 4x4, let's put in parks and other things at non-standard dimensions? Speaking of... Okay, another thing is that whilst this is developing, I'd like to maybe get started on the university. Now this is going to be a very interesting area here. As you can see, I've taken the train track, taken it over what natural hill I had here so that I could then get it through the tunnel here to hook up, and now we are fully connected everywhere with rail. This is going to cause a little bit of an issue as this city develops out here. Because these are going to end up crossing this, which is obviously where we had issues previously, including here. I'm glad to see they're at least using that, but nobody is taking the bypass that I was hoping they'd take. So this will never solve this part of the problem down here. But that's okay, we can always just have free-for-all intersections, which we might end up having to do here too, because now people are coming this way. I've added a little bit of greenery here. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Okay, we're still having some issues getting people, but the industry has started to build back up. All of it's these tiny little warehouses. These little Williams buildings, factories. There's an awful lot of them. The game seems to really like that for some reason. Is it because of the policy? What kind of policies do I have here? Industrial space planning. That must be something. It's changed the size of the buildings. Which is disappointing that the game clamps down that hard on it, you know? That it really limits how many different types of buildings you can actually get. It's kind of disappointing. How's the fields out here doing? We're nowhere near getting what we need for our worker numbers. So again, I'm revisiting this idea of just consuming all of these farms under one banner so that they will all most likely hit the level, and then thereby gaining all the bonuses. Yeah, the game just really doesn't like it when you kick people out. When you kick people out of the economy, it seems to automatically, point them out of town. And then, I guess then they just decide that they have to spawn in elsewhere. Wonder what this has done traffic-wise for the trains. So now we gotta come in both ways. How's this? 600 people? Okay. Is that at least profitable? Metro. Here we go. I guess the way to actually check that would be to be looking here. That's the cable car. Is that Metro? It looks like no, it is definitely not pulling income, and the trains are definitely not. In fact, none of my transport is whatsoever. Another thing, while I'm here, let's go grab this, and it's not where that is. There it is. Let's grab a stadium. I made a nice little spot out here just for a stadium, and I don't know. I don't really want to create. Well, you know what? Okay, do this. Road really is not going to like going back that way. But I could make a loop. Could maybe house... I think the parking lot's bigger than that. Definitely is. So one more. And could I make it like an alleyway instead? Maybe that would be more forgiving. It looks very tight, but there's no reason to have like a full street. There we go. I guess. Sports complex. Of course, we gotta freaking water. I could make a loop there. Okay, well, I'd kind of hoped to avoid cutting into the hill any further, but it works. Really, like having that closer to the venue might actually come out better. So, what are these? Where's my tooltips? I'm assuming this means we add security, and that we add a bus shuttle. I don't really... kind of like a steel blue myself. Okay, well, at least now we got a sports team. Is this doing anything whatsoever? Not really. No, it in fact seems like we've absolutely killed everything. Okay, this is another thing I noticed here, right? These guys. Why in the hell are they coming here? They shouldn't be going through this neighborhood at all. And in fact, something I noticed too, whilst I was futzing around with this, is that we have a lot of tractors, you know, that belong here. Why are they even down here? What are they even doing here? They've got no reason to be here. Probably hating this part is what you're hating. Could I get away with something like this? Maybe an office building? I kind of doubt that this is going to go anywhere. So another thing, is looking a little bit closer to some of the no high-rise and whatever. And it specifically says that the no high-rise ban means that it will not evolve to its highest level, but looking closer at it, it looks like they are. Or at least it's filling the need, it's just not upping the thing. So I had thought about doing the greening, right? I thought about doing the smart buildings here, smart homes. Did I do that with somebody already? School is out, workers' union. No, I didn't. Okay. Well, the smart homes can wait a minute then. I want to come in here and maybe put in a plaza. About putting the plaza there. Give ourselves a little bit of that. Then I can greenify that. And is there anything... I want to do a riding stable. Where's the things like the bee, birds and bee? Well, I could do that. Tropical garden, that's not really... You need more downtowny stuff, which unfortunately is all of this stuff, and I hate using all of this. But theater would actually fit the theme, if not the space. What about a theater here? Like, I do want to move that high school. kind of need the culture over on this side. I'd like to move that high school back. Maybe move it over here, but I don't know. It's not really serving a purpose up here anymore. Where are my... Well, there are a fair amount of residentials here, I guess. I don't know. The Midtown High School just doesn't fit anymore. Unfortunately, I think that's kind of in a bad spot. Especially since, you know, being closer to the river, this is supposed to be more like high value because it would be for casinos and businesses and that sort of thing, hotels and whatnot. So having this here doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore. Not that it ever really did to begin with. But where else am I going to put it? Like, over here makes sense, but you know, at the same time, I don't even know what I'm going to do with these. I figure I could just leave them. Move that high school down here. Let's just do the whole thing, rather than move it and deal with it later. I'm kind of tired of dealing with things later. I spend almost as much time out of this series fiddling with things as I do messing with them camera. Okay, that fits. You. What? The parking lot. Okay. Well, it's too bad. Doing the detailing stuff. So, you know, I'm rethinking this now again, putting it to this side because I don't want it to be on a one-way. But at the same time, gives me a little bit of a buffer, although not really. You can see it's well within the noise pollution thing. We're already suffering from noise pollution, so yeah, we'll put it over here. Really guess probably would be a better idea just to move all this stuff away anyhow. Not even have it here. Maybe I can put in office buildings or something. Well, office buildings don't, I mean, they're supposed to be a buffer, but it seems like they actually produce just as much. They're not actually absorbing anything. Maybe not. These are all probably office buildings, and then these are the commercial, yeah. Something like that. And I can't imagine needing anything there. But I would like to change this so that it actually connects. Now we can come in and put in that tiny little parking lot again. And we'll just, I don't know, make this a picnic area or something. God, that's a massive amount of money. How much are we actually getting out of, not that it matters, but how many are, tourists, I guess? I don't actually know. I don't know how you can see how much your tourist visitation is bringing in. Because these buildings are just beautification buildings. They're not actually doing anything for me. Which is rather disappointing. Maybe I should just put a plaza in here instead. Don't worry about that. Okay, did this develop at all? It sort of did. We're having an inexplicable low land value. Well, I can imagine why. Parks. So I can put something in here. God, that's big. Okay, okay. Just trying to see if it maybe fits something a little bit better, and it just doesn't fit anything. Now wait a minute, why was something like this fitting here? It fits this perfectly. I guess that one goes there then. It's not at all relevant to fixing this issue. What about putting back in another one of these? This midway. That is kind of the one thing about having, you know, a block design like this, where it is surrounding parks. Land value gets pretty high up there just from having that. We can put other things in there. Seriously though, where is that? Wow, we've pretty much used up all of this. There's a Panda Sanctuary. I could put a golf course out here. Driving range? That fits perfectly. And it fills in a nice little gap in between what is otherwise a very busy and loud district. But no, what I'm looking for is like a bird and bee sanctuary. This thing. Bird and bee haven. You know what? It fits. It also covers nobody right now. But that's okay. It will cover the next neighborhood. It contributes to this awful hill. But we can maybe blend that in a little bit. Because I'm oh so good at that. Maybe lower that just a bit. No, I'd really rather you didn't pull it out and pushed it back in, but yeah, okay. Oh, we can cover that with trees or something. And here we go. A lot more demand. Let's fill that back in. I think I'll go ahead and maybe do something like this. And hey presto. Well, I mean, you know, this doesn't look as good or meaningful or anything, but for a little suburb, it's not too bad. I think it fits in a lot more than was here before with that design, but I could also be wrong. Who knows? How many people do we have here now? 1,000. Just in that block, just in this block is 1,000 people, and that's it's nothing to sneeze at. 5 times as many there. So this one, I mean, like, you can't compare area, but so that block compared to this, about the same people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if one is really preferable to the other or not. Well, you're not... Don't do that. I just kept this here because I want the circle to maintain its shape. And these guys were programmed to go this way, and then they've... Oh boy. They'll get it. Eventually. Hopefully. Okay. Well, just out of curiosity, where are we at on the traffic? I mean, it's to be expected, really. This demand thing. I mean, how many people did we put in this? You know, and it was all the way up here, and then it just disappeared. So the scale of this is really misleading. Looks like we could probably use a little bit of death care up here. We tend to have quite a bit. In fact, we've got more than enough, and I think it's largely because of this thing. This is actually pretty full. It's actually getting pretty full. This one, however, is empty. I was going to put another one up here. We could maybe stand another cemetery. So why don't we put one up here? Or how about here? Put it here to make up another buffer. I do enjoy having something of a buffer. Between loud areas. So, you know, I do plan to develop this for stone and whatnot, and maybe some of these plots for more farming. This one for sure, but this one I figure maybe could be more of the manufacturing side of things, although we really don't have that kind of supply. And I guess it doesn't matter anyway. You know, we were looking earlier at the major importation, and I guess it just does that. I guess it ignores the fact that you are producing any of it and just imports it anyway for its own purposes, which is completely idiotic, and should not be at all how it works. But anyway, so, you know, adding more stuff here is probably not really going to make a difference. But I bring that up because I was thinking of putting a cargo rail here and having another line that hooks up here, and then just having like a dead end line here for people. And so it would just bring people basically in and out of town, but it would not hook up to this line at all here. So I don't know, that's just something to think about down the way. Is this profitable yet? I guess. Looks like we won once and made a bit of money. We had no expenses, so we got no security and no... What is this? Why is it not giving me tooltips? ushered seats. But we won something, and that brought in some people, so that's good, I guess. Not entirely sure I like this, but it's okay. That will do. Okay, well, little by little, I think now that I've moved some of these temporary buildings out of here as this, you know what, why don't we just move you here, and then I don't have to worry about what's going to fit here. So that'll be its new permanent crematorium. Yay. Now I can just kind of develop these areas a little bit, but I think we'll do the college. Like I was saying, it was going to be a challenging area, mostly because of how it's going to cross over, but I think we'll do a large campus, and I'm not sure, but I'm just going to assume once we have a campus area, we can put down multiple types. So even though I think, so this building defines campus area type to liberal arts. Okay, so it is a specific campus type then. Okay. Well, never mind that. I was thinking maybe I could fit in some of the buildings in the same area. And maybe I could, maybe I could still put in like a trade school. What do you even have here? I mean, I guess I could use that book club, but I'm sure I could still use some of these buildings. IT club. Maybe. And then we got all this sports stuff. Like I get that there's college sports, but the fact that there are more sports in the university DLC than there are in the base package, it's really disappointing, and especially when it's an unlock building too. Like, for real? I mean, whatever, that works. Can we put in another skate park somewhere, maybe, just for fun? Skate park right across from the cops. Yeah. Parents will love to send their kids there because it'll be safe. And the police will be there to keep an eye on the kids. Yeah, that fits. I'm thinking I want to extend this neighborhood too, just a little bit to right here, but for now I don't necessarily know that I need to do that, and I'm not sure if I want to connect this up here. I do want to have something built here, but I have no idea what. This whole area is still a mystery to me, actually. But I could do the castle. I could just put it here, and then Royal Court would just develop later. Oh, and then airport, too. So maybe we'll work on that, whilst the demands are fluctuating wildly. I'll figure out what I can do to maybe build some demand in other things, tourism and whatnot. Maybe we'll just do a little bit better for the amenities of the city. That'll drive people in. But anyway, I'd like this to develop faster, but I don't think that's going to be a possibility. It's just going to be doing its thing for a while. So for now, I guess we'll just call it good. Hook up all the water. And then I need to figure out how these are going to be handled, because they're just slightly different. There's going to be a pretty large gap there. I can't quite do this thing. I could try, I suppose. I'll have to see what this enables me to do. Like if I split it, that's about the only thing I could do to optimize the space. Otherwise, you're looking at something like that. Which works, but you're going to get weird development in here. In really is just going to be like an inner... I don't know. It could look interesting anyway. I could just do it out of interest. Create some weird loop there. Yeah, I'll work on that, I guess. And then I will see you next time.